Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I hope everyone is safe in this COVID situations, and I tell everyone that please do not go outside if there is no emergency. Okay, so let us start. So today in this video, I will tell you some important facts regarding power portals. As you know already, power portals are nothing but public facing websites so that public users can access your data through web authentications and authorizations using power portals. So sometimes there is a need that you want to let users, public users, view some data that are stored in your common data service or Dataverse or your Dynamics 365. And sometimes also you want to give access to the users or public users to create that kind of records. For example, you want to display a set of contact information in the public in the portal, and in the same time you want to allow users to edit some contact informations that are displaying there on the portal. You might give access to your partners or some customers so that they can access your data. They can perform crude operation like they want to create some data items, they want to delete some data items they have created before, they want to read some data items. So this kind of crude operation, if some kind of crude operation is required to perform in your power portal, then how you can do that? Microsoft has already introduced web API that we can use in our portal so that we can seamlessly communicate with our Dynamics 365 server to connect to our data. And importantly, most importantly, we send our data from our portal to our database, to Microsoft 365 or Dynamics 365 database through JSON objects. Okay, so we send data in JSON object, and also we receive data in JSON object, right? So it depends on you that what data you want to populate in your portal, and what permission you want to give to the users. And there are some basic configurations we have to do in a portal site settings. Then we have to write some HTML and some JavaScripts, and sometimes some liquid code to do this functionality. And also we are using Bootstrap, which is UI framework for giving better look and feel for the web elements, right? Like buttons, grids, like that. So let us see how we can do that. If you want to see my videos in a quality video and high resolution, open in your video, click on this gear icon and click on this quality option and choose 720p or 1080p. So if you use this quality, then your video will run in a high quality video and with proper resolution and quality. Thank you. So I hope you are able to see my screen, and I will show you that what we are going to build. So this is the page, this is a portal page, and here I have designed a table, and I am displaying some data items from Dynamics 365 contact entity. And this is a text box where I am displaying the first name. So it's kind of editable grid, right? So I'm not updating this email field, but I can also do that if there is a requirement. I'm just updating this business phone and first name. Okay, and also I have implemented this checkbox, global and local checkbox. And when you click the global checkbox, it will select every checkbox, and if you unselect this, the line items will unselect. And I have defined the logic that whenever you change something in this records, whenever you click this checkbox only, this line item will be processed. Okay, so let us see. So here I have implemented create operation, update operation, delete operation, and read operation. This is what you we can read data, right? Here I am displaying some label here, power portal crude operation using web API. And let us first create a record. Okay, click on this create. As soon as you click create, it will ask you please enter your first name. Let me give a first name. Let's say I'm giving Amir, and click OK. Give last name. My last name is, let's say, Pradhan, and I will click OK. It will ask you please provide your email ID. Let's say email ID is amir@gmail.com, and I will click OK. Next, it is asking phone number. Let me give phone number. Okay, now click, once I will click OK, here it is displaying creating record. Now in the meantime it is connecting to the web API to create the specific record. Once it is success, it will display a record created successfully. Refresh the page and ID is this. So this is the record ID that has been created, so that you can understand, yes, the record is already created and this is the ID of this record. Now if you refresh this, currently you don't find any Amir record here, but if you refresh, the record will display here, right? So this is the record that you have created. And also if you go to your contact information, only this informations are there. There is no Amir record here. If you refresh this, you will find that record that is created, right? So we can successfully create records in Dynamics 365 from portal using this create operation. I will show you how I build this. Now I want to edit this. So I want to edit Amir, let's say Prakash. Okay, I want to update this as Amir Prakash, and I want to change the phone number as like this. Okay, now if I will update, nothing will update until unless I will select this. It will not pick the record information for updation. I have written that logic. So select this, click on update. As soon as you click update, it will give you some information that this is the updated name, this is the phone number, and true is nothing but the checkbox is selected, right? Just testing purpose. You can remove this whenever you go live. Now click OK. As soon as you click OK, this message will display processing, and it will call the update web API, and it will display the result record updated successfully. Now you can refresh here to check if it is updated. Yes, it is updated. Now you can go here also to refresh to check if it is updated properly or not. Now click on uncheck this and click refresh. Now see Amir Prakash Pradhan and the business phone is also updated. Now I will check. So create update is done. I want to delete this. So let me click this. I want to delete this record. So click the item, click on delete. Once you delete, click delete, it will give you that this is the record you are going to process for testing purpose. Now click OK. It is now giving processing. Record deleted successfully. Refresh the page. Now once I will refresh, this record will disappear. Also here this is displaying. I can refresh so that it is deleted. Now you can see how I have done this editable grid with CRUD operation, and that is calling the web API portal, web portal, I mean Power Portal web API. Okay, so let us see how we can configure step by step. Okay, and every time you do, you have to clear the cache, because sometimes if you do something, the cache memory blocks that process. So clear cache, then try your functionality. Okay, so let us start what I have done to do this editable grid with CRUD operation. Now go to your portal management app. If you open Power Apps, if you choose correct environment, you will go to the Power Apps. So this is opening here. First thing is you have to define some configuration in site settings. Click on site settings in website group. I have created 3 site settings, right? So I will go and check, and I will tell you what I have done. Click on W. So I have created these 3 site settings. These 3 site settings is important for web API call from portals. So open first one. When you create new site setting, you have to give the name as web API / contact / enabled. You have to give the entity name for which you are interacting with web API. You should keep it same as I have done. Keep everything same, but change your entity here in small, right? Choose your website portal for which you are deploying this web API. Give value as true. Now save and close. Once you save and close, it is display like this. Again, next thing is we have to define for which attributes for that entity you want to interact with web API. So you have to define the name as web API, your entity name, and / fields. You can change your entity name here, but others keep as it is. Select your website, and in the value you can specify attributes by comma separated, like first name comma last name, like that. Otherwise keep it star, so that you can interact with all fields through web API. So I recommend use star, because sometimes whenever you change something, some fields in your web API code, web template code, then if you do not update this, it will throw error, it will not work. So to be in safe side, initially keep it star. You can change it later. Next side setting is error setting. Web API slash error slash in error, you have to specify this and specify the website and value is true. So these three side setting is important to connect web API from Power Portal. So always remember to give fields as star and enabled as true and in error true. So these three side settings are required so that portal will understand the configuration. Next is, you have to go to your table permission and create a table permission called as contact table permission. You can give any name as per your understanding, but I have given contact table permission because I want to define a entity permission or table permission for contact records, contact entity, because I want to display contact information here. So define a name here, give select your entity here for which you want to call web API, select your website portal, I have selected this, select access type as global, and here select privileges. I have selected write, delete, create, read. Okay, and save it. Once you save it, next you have to go to, once table permission configuration is done for your entity for which you want to communicate from your Power Portal through web API, next thing is you have to define a web role. I have defined a web role called as web API user, right? So you can give another a new name for yourself, for your company. Let's say web user, something like that. So I have given web API user. Next you have to select your portal website for which you want to enable this web role. Then select authenticated users role as yes, so that whenever someone logged in only this web API will work. Next, once it is saved, web role is saved, you have to go to related and go to related contacts, because I want to associate this web role to a contact, so that whenever that contact logs in portal, he can access. So this is my login user. So whenever I log in here, you can see this is my name because I have logged in. So I want to provide this person to associate with this web role. So I have I have allowed this user, this contact, for this web role. If you want to add more users, you can just click on this uh, add existing contact, and you can add more users here, so that this web API user web role will be assigned to that user. Otherwise it will not work. So you understand, first thing is side settings. First setting is side setting, first configuration, and the next setting is table permission, next web role, and then contact association with web role, right? This basic informations, basic configuration you need to do. Next we have to create a web template. Okay, let me go to the web template, because I want to display information on a web page. So we need three things: web template, page template, and web page. So first go to web template, and here actually all code is there. So if you click on Z, because I have created a I have created a web template named as Z. So open this. You have to also create your own web template, and you can copy the entire code and paste in your web template. Now I will tell you what the code all about. Okay, so once you give the web template name, you have to select the portal name, portal website here, then the source code. What I have written in the source code: first I have defined a division where I want to display my table, and this fetch.xml liquid code will retrieve all the contact records with a condition that email address not null. That means it will retrieve uh, all contact records where email address exists. Okay, you can also use your own fetch.xml here inside this. fetch XML liquid tag. You can use advanced find or fetch XML builder or whatever tool you use for convenient, and copy and paste here, right? Now next I have taken 4 buttons, okay, and in this, so for one is for creating record, next updating record, deleting record, and refreshing record. And for the create, I am calling a method called as create, which is a JavaScript function. I will tell you in the below part. Next, I am for update, I am calling another JavaScript function called as update and passing a string parameter called as u, so that so that I can identify if u is passed as a flag, then it is update. And for delete, I am using the same method update and passing d, so that I can identify for delete. So I am using same method for update and delete by a flag manipulation. Next, for refresh button, I'm using a JavaScript location.reload true, which will actually reload the current web page. Okay. Next, this division processing message. This is a division which will display the top level message. Power Portal CRUD operation using Web API. Here you can see this is displaying here, but this will be dynamic, right? Whenever whenever a request processed by the Web API, I want to change this inner HTML of this division to something else, like record updated or deleted or whatever. So I have given the ID as processing message, so that I can use this division in my JavaScript to display some message, dynamic message. Next is important. Here I am creating a table object, table tag in HTML, and in the table tag I have defined 4 headers. One is to store the global checkbox, and given the ID is checked all, and 3 fields, 3 headers: first name, email, business phone. And in the body I am looping through the results that are received from this fetch XML, right? So this is the liquid code for loop. I'm going through the list, and I'm assigning in the contact IDs variable with the contact ID, record ID. And this is important uh, uh, in the columns of the in the data columns of the table. First I have taken a checkbox. So this is the checkbox. This checkbox stands for this one, this checkbox. And for this checkbox I'm assigning the ID of the checkbox as dynamic. See, so the ID of the checkbox will be the contact ID of the record that is fetched from fetch XML. And class contact ID, I have assigned contact IDs. Then some styles, and on change of this checkbox I am calling a function called as push array checkbox. This I'm passing the same control object to this method, and same as another text input to display full name. So I am assigning value result first name, so that it will display the first name of the user. And ID, I have defined the ID dynamic also. I am not giving the ID as txt full name. I am also assigning txt full name slash result.contact ID, so that whenever multiple row items will be added, every text box which holds first name will have different IDs. That is important. Okay. And here it will store the first name. And on change of the first name I am calling another push array function, which will actually initialize a global array of the changed values, right? Here I am displaying only the email address, which is not editable. That's why I have not taken any control here. And next in this column I am displaying txt. I am displaying the phone number, and the ID is txt business phone slash result.contact ID. This is the dynamic contact ID which is retrieved, right? So value I am assigning the telephone number that is passed. So this row will build like this. So this is multiple line items. That's why this will go through the for loop. So every so whatever count that will retrieve in the fetch XML, the for loop will loop through that much count and build the rows with different columns, right? So after this, so this is how we display messages through on the table through a loop, right? Next, the functionality like create, update, delete, refresh, what JavaScript we have written. First thing you remember, you have to copy this function from Microsoft site, right? This shape Ajax function. So you have to copy. So this is same for every portal when you are calling to any portal web API. So starting from this function to up to this. So this is the common function you have to mention in your portal code web template, because through this shape Ajax only we are calling the web API. Next, what I have defined, once it is defined, I have to define a global array, because I have taken this global array to keep all record items in an array, so that whenever someone clicks update or delete something, I will pick the informations from that global array, right? Now, so that I have defined a global array, global array, and this is the function called as push array, and this push array is called by this method, this first name on change and the phone number on change. Okay, on the business phone change also I am calling the same method, and for first name change also I am calling the same method. So what it will do, it will just initialize this global array. So this global array will store the first name and the phone number and the checkbox value for that line item. If this global array has no values inside, then it will just push it. Otherwise, it will update the line item. For example, if you are changed something, and the line item will be added to the global array, but if again you want to change, it will not push the record, rather it will update the global array to have that global array updated like this, right? So if it contains, it is, we have defined global array dot find index. This uses that whether this contact ID is already there or not in the global array. If it is there, update the line item of the global array, otherwise push it with ID, first name, phone number and checkbox. So normally whenever someone clicks update button, I will have a global array with every line item and with their values. Now next, update method. This update method is called by update button. Here what I am doing, I am going through a loop through the global array, because global array is the array which contains all the line items information which are changed, right? Now it will alert something, alert the line item from the global array. For testing purpose I have given this, you can comment it out also. Okay, now I am checking whether the global array and the counter I dot checkbox value is 1. Why I am checking this? Because my requirement is whenever someone clicks this only, the line item will be posted to the server for updation or any operation. But if you uncheck this and change anything here and you click update, this item will not be updated, because I have not checked this. So that is my logic. Although you change anything, if you not check this item, it will not be posted. That's why I have given a check here. I have given a check here that if the checkbox is true for that line item, then only do this functionality. So what I am doing, if it is true, I am changing the processing message division inner HTML to processing. You can see whenever I update something, click update, this value changes to processing. So I have mentioned here, change the inner HTML to processing. Then I am defining a value object, and I am storing first name and telephone number in that value, and I'm checking if the flag is U, because the same method is used for delete and update. So I have to check whether it is called by update button or delete button. If flag is U, it is pressed by update, it is called by update button. So if it is U, you have to write this code. So this code is same for all, but just mind it to define your correct entity and correct entity ID, record ID, and this record ID is stored in the global array. Okay, I have pushed here, you can see This is the contact ID I am pushing here. Now once it is added here, I am calling so I am calling this function, and after success I am mentioning this processing message inner HTML as record updated successfully, right? Like that, if it is delete, I am just writing down the type of call is delete and passing the ID of the record to delete that from the server, and I am updating the processing message record deleted successfully and refresh the page. So these two function, this one function having two functionality for update and delete. Next, create. Whenever you create, I am using, whenever you click create button, it will call this method, and it will prompt four things: for first name, last name, phone number and email. And I am storing all the information from the user in these variables, and created a variable, JSON variable, to store informations, and changed the processing message inner HTML as creating records. Then we are calling this web API SAP Ajax, so that and I am passing the record object also, so that it will create the record in the system. And after it is created, it will display message record created successfully with the ID. And in this XHR, in this success function, this will store the entity ID in this response header in this web API, right? So you have to use this one and change your corresponding entity and object informations correctly, so that it will work fine. Now to this functionality, this check on check functionality, I have used this one, the first, this one. So when this global checkbox is checked, then it will check. If this is checked, all class, all checkboxes whose class is contact IDs will be checked true, otherwise checked false. And if you uncheck a row item checkbox, then it will uncheck the global checkbox, and if you select that, it will check the global checkbox. So these two functions will check uncheck global and row item checkboxes. So this is all about my code, and I will mention in my blog this code. You can copy and you can test in your machine. So you can also do this functionality. You can also modify for different columns. I have displayed 3 columns. You can display multiple columns, and you can also enhance this. Whenever you click this, you want to change the color of this row, you can change that, right? You can also manipulate, you can add search box here to search something using jQuery, right? So thank you for your time, guys. I hope it will help, and this is a very common, common tutorial we use, a common thing we use in development in portals. And if you have not subscribed my channel, subscribe this.